Hello, fine folk. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the Great War, the Western Front. We're into our tutorial series, and this is the episode number 4. So, if you haven't caught up with the other in-game tutorials, then check our channel playlist for the Great War. And now we are on a defensive battle. So, we've done the first 3. Again, check out our channel playlist for that, and we're going to go into defensive battle now. So, we'll click on that and click on Begin Chapter. So, let's see. May 1918. Chapter 4 Defensive Battles. The soldiers are in place, the trenches are dug, and the region has been prepared. With recon info warning of an imminent German assault, the Allies ready for the upcoming month and combat. So, let's get this loaded and let's get this started. And here we go, continue. Okay, so this is where we were last time. I have to try and remember where we were. So I believe we are as prepared as we can be. Once our troops are rested and in position, we'll begin the battle. We can defend if the enemy attacks, but for now, await further orders. You are dismissed. Turn-based. You can take as many actions as you like during your turn. Once you have done everything you want to, click the end turn button. The turn indicator will switch to the enemy and he will be able to perform any of the same actions that you can. So it's telling us to click end turn, which is in the bottom right corner here, flashing. So click end turn. The Germans do not sleep or stand idle as the month passes. They go about their business of war just as we do. So I can see that they are doing their battles here. There's some smoke happening. The enemy AI has the same available actions as you do. It will move troops, purchase supply, plan attacks, and research new tech. Your ability to see what the AI player is doing will depend on how you have used your espionage missions. For the most part, you're able to see that the AI is doing something, but not what. Yes, okay, so we talked about that in the last episode, about how you can get spies into enemy territory. So we're just seeing generic smoke here. I'm not sure if there was, when I remember we set up earlier on, but anyway, let's see, carry on. Right, so the enemy I just seen, I thought we said that already. Yeah, okay, so I got to tick that yet. Dismiss message. So they're saying that an enemy spy in the region Chantilan-Suman, which is here, army enter underway. Success. Okay. Oh, no, go back. So it says similar to the player, the AI will use espionage abilities on their turn. So remember to use counter intel on your staging grounds and important targets to deprive the AI of the extra knowledge. Okay, so we put some spies, I think, in their tabs in the previous games, and they can do the same to us. But if we have like a counter intelligence, then we can thwart them. Okay. Now we are under attack. So the battlefield deployment overview: the AI can attack your territories on its turn, which will put you on the defensive. Each front, the line between the hexes, will use a different map. Okay. So we've got all this stuff down here, and we've got our cards here. So we've got our troops and artillery, etc. We don't know much about theirs, except that there's a total corp 9, and the outcome is likely to be a stalemate. Okay. So, battlefield deployment, army breakdown. This is what we just looked at. So while you are always able to see sides total morale, as I'm assuming, is that the morale there? I don't know. It doesn't say. And what you are bringing into battle, you only be able to see exactly what the enemy is bringing if you have an active army intel espionage mission active in the enemy region. Right. Okay. So battlefield deployment. Oh, let's just read this bit. Our recon teams were efficient. Between the ground scouts and aerial recon, we had at least some idea of what the Germans could throw at us. Without dedicated spies, however, we could only get numbers, not details. They could have conscripts, or they could be stormtroopers. We would only know when the flames began to flow. So this is probably why we just got this exclamation mark there. Now we're going to look at this battlefield deployment just flashing at us. The deployment pane will show you a great deal of information about the upcoming battle, including the region. So the region here, who is the attacker? Where does it say that? And we know it's Germany, but is this where the attacker is? And special modifiers. So there's none here, there's no territory modifiers. One of the most important things is the available supply, which is broken down into corp supply and your supply draw. So we got 1085, and then we got a 600 draw. So we've got 1,685. So these two figures are added together. Remember that without a supply depot in the region, your supply draw will be 0. If you find the battles to be difficult, try adding or upgrading the region's supply depot. So that is all about supply, which will be covered in another tutorial. Okay. The army had an entire strategy and logistics team to tell us the likely outcome of the battle before it happened, based on their current intel. One thing that the team could never quantify, though, was the human spirit. A good leader could defy the odds and win the day. Battlefield deployment, likely outcome. So this is what we also looked at. The auto-resolve likely outcome shows you the range of win levels your battle will fall into if you auto-resolve the battle. The yellow box... Oh yeah, sorry. If you... Okay, let's start that again. The auto-resolve likely outcome, right, shows you the range of win levels. And your battle will fall into if you auto-resolve the battle. So if you auto-resolve the battle using this button here, the likely outcome will be a stalemate. Auto-resolve simulates a battle based on force numbers and random elements. The more even a battle is, the better it is to fight the battle directly, so that your skill and good decisions play more of a part in battle than chance. So it's like the Total War game series, you can auto-resolve it, but they're saying here that if it's going to be a stalemate, you can likely make the difference. Okay. So this is it. We will meet them on the battlefield. They will not take this ground. So battlefield deployment, engage battle. So this is the manual way of doing it. The attacker must pay a supply cost to initiate a battle, while defense is free. The attacker always has the option to cancel an attack before it begins. The defender can concede the battle, taking the loss without casualties. So we are not going to concede. We are going to engage. And off it goes. So it says it's region core 9, and we have forces available here with tanks, artillery, flamethrowers by the looks of it, grenadiers, riflemen, and this is our supply. Okay, so we do all we know available there. They got total of 9 core, and we are fighting the Central Powers. So click on continue, and let's see what happens. So here we are back in the battlefield. Welcome to the front line. I am Adjutant, I don't know to say that, Adjutant Chef Garnier. Lieutenant Colonel Laurent has spoken highly of you Americans and your ability to get things done. Pre-battle. All battles begin in the pre-battle phase, which allows you to set up your trench lines and initial troop placement before starting the actual battle. The map is divided into 3 sections, and each faction has their home territory where they can build and deploy. Between them is no man's land, where nothing can be built. So usually no man's land is here in the middle, and this grey area it is. So we're going to say okay on that. Now feel free to look around and get your bearings. Battle will be soon upon us, so getting familiar with the territory will be beneficial to you. So if we move this around in the mini-map and left click and hold, we can move around this way. And we can zoom out as well and zoom in at quite close. Okay. So as far as you can see at the moment, this is all our side. Yeah, we're under the French flag there, and there's the Germans up there. So it looks like we're all dug in, obviously. And I can't see any from here any sort of advantage that we may or may not have at the moment. So let's go and do the next bit, which is the camera controls. So we can use WASD to go left and right, up and down, and we can also use the mini-map and click and drag that. Okay. So there were already some trenches in place when we arrived. Okay. So we can tell some of them have been there longer than others by how well they were built. Some dirt walls barely held in place by planks, while others had wood walls and concrete reinforcements. So what are we supposed to be looking at here? So I'm not sure where these built trenches are. These are all outlined white. They're outlined white, so I'm not sure which is referring to. The only thing I could think of is maybe here. Oh, is it here? I don't know. It's very difficult to tell which one he's pointing at. On your first time fighting in a specific location, the battle will begin with a few pre-placed trenches. You are free to use them or replace them as you see fit. Any trenches you build will remain in place in all future battles in that location, unless they are destroyed and you lose control of the region. So, looking around, the soldier was digging even more trenches attached to the early ones ones we saw. Artillery cannons were being wheeled in along with carts full of ammunition. Everywhere preparations were being made and tons of earth was being moved. Yeah, but where are we looking at that on the map? What's this? Objects such as weapon emplacements, artillery batteries, and observation balloons do not persist between battles and will need to be rebuilt each time. We have automatically added a few for this battle to save some time. Okay, but it's not. The only thing is, it's not telling us where these. What are we looking at? Where are we looking at? What is this telling us? Hang on. No, I can't move that. So we look at it's stuck on this level here, yeah. And it's telling us we've got some weapon emplacements and artillery, but it's not referring to them unless it means these here. I don't know. It's not very clear, is it? Okay. So our air or recon patrols and spies have been working to bring us information on the German lines. We can't completely rely on that information, however, as delivery delays can make the observation stale. Okay. Just like the player, the enemy trenches also persist between battles and can be updated during the pre-battle phase. This means that your knowledge of the enemy lines from battle to battle can become outdated. Using scouts or observation balloons to view the enemy lines can reduce casualties. Okay, so control points. A good trench layout serves two purposes, although always not the same at the same time. First, it provides a good staging ground for assaults on the enemy line. Second, it provides a defensive position to protect our key positions and personnel. Control points are a primary focus of the battle, with the goal being to secure as many as possible. So I think ours are A and B, look, and I think theirs must be X and Y. It doesn't tell us that at the moment. Talking with the French veterans, we learned the most important lesson: be in the trench as much as possible, whether our own or the enemy's. We could use their own trench lines against them to assault the key positions while being safe from their bullets. So the control point will have a radius and have a control points have a capture radius. You can view by hovering your mouse over the flag. I've done that. Only infantry can capture a control point, but the infantry can be in or out of the trench when doing so. Okay, so I mustn't put it on the A. I've got to put it on this one here because it doesn't work otherwise. The zone there, you can see the capture zone. So this area can be captured by infantry. The meter must be completely full to convert to your side, or it will slowly revert to the original owner. The position cannot be contested if both factions are in range. The battle clock will pause when points are contested. So it's a little bit like Company of Heroes, where you have to take the flag and wait for the meter to go down. We are standing in the German trench. Sorry, we are standing in the command trench, the nerve center of the on this part of the front. As such, it is a key position that must be protected at all costs. So this is the enemy, sorry, our HQ, command trench HQ, not the enemy's. Command trenches are special control points that can only be captured by entering the trench itself. Just being here will have no effect. Okay, so we have to jump into the trench itself. So I'm assuming it's going to be this bit. Are they going to tell us? The command trench was a busy place. Messages constantly ran in and out, orders were given and received, and maps were studied and decisions made. Losing this place to the enemy would indeed be a huge blow to the battlefield. So, infantry assigned to the command trench are completely immune to damage from the outside. In addition, the command trench is immune to siege artillery blasts. However, infantry stationed inside cannot fire targets outside the trench. Now that sounds a bit weird. Why would infantry assigned to the command trench be immune to damage from the outside? I don't get that. In addition, the command trench is immune to a siege artillery blast. So it's basically immune from anything. So how do you capture it? However, infantry stationed inside cannot fire a target out. That sounds a bit confusing, I think. The first assignment will be to aid in shoring up our damaged defenders. Our right flank by position A took some damage. So is this the right flank? Why don't you tell us which one it is? Because it could be that one, it could be that one, it could be that one. I need your men to repair and reinforce. Supply. Building and deploying troops requires supply. The total supply you have in battle is determined by the number of units and the supply depot level in the region on the world map. 25% of your total available supply is reserved for when the battle starts. You always have some supply for artillery fire and reinforcements. Okay. Our engineers have categorized things for you so that you know what's available for your use. We have multiple types of trenches that serve different purposes. Familiarize yourself with them. The trench tab. So these are the trench tab. So this builds a new trench sections by clicking the button and left clicking on the map. New objects appear as blueprints until the transition phase. You can remove them by clicking the remove button on each object. Use the mouse wheel to rotate the blueprint while in placement mode. Okay, so in general, trench protect your infantry from harm and allow them to move around on the battlefield in relative security. There are multiple levels and types of trenches you can build. So, firing trenches allow our infantry to fire at oncoming enemies while remaining safe. Our engineers have ranked trenches based on the protection value and material cost. Firing trenches are three types: basic, improved, and advanced. All of them provide immunity to rifle fire and limited protection from artillery shells. The better the trench, the more protection it offers. So this is a wood reinforced trench that can hold 2 companies, grants targeting immunity from rifle fire and medium protection from artillery and tanks. Okay, click the improved trench button. Where's that one? That's advanced, that's blockhouse. Okay, build an improved trench. Okay, so am I going to build one by here? Okay, is that it? Or do I build this somewhere else? Trenches. While in placement mode, you can place as many of the same object as you want. When you are done, right-click to exit placement mode or choose another object to place. Build another improved trench. I can't build it there. Okay. Can I build it here? No. Can I build it there? No. No, they're already there, are they? So, where am I supposed to be building this then? Oh yeah, next door to that one. And next door to that one, there you go. So I just put them on either side. And now that's the remove trench, and that's the... don't know what that is. Okay, not yet. Okay, upgrading costs less than building a high level trench from scratch. You cannot downgrade the trench, but you can remove it by clicking the X over the trench. Okay, comm trenches are used to connect lines of firing in trenches, providing a way to quickly transition between them. Infantry in comm trenches gain a speed boost, allowing them to get where they are needed quickly. Infantry cannot stop in a comm trench, and they offer much less protection than firing trenches. So this allows communication, obviously, through the trench, because it's called a comms trench. And you get a large bonus for speed, but you can't garrison troops there on light tanks can cross this trench type. Okay, so if I put one there and there, that means they can communicate these 2 trenches. Okay. Bunkers. Blockhouse trenches can hold up to 5 infantry companies and make them immune to all incoming damage and invisible to all enemies outside the bunker. Infantry stationed inside cannot fire out and can only be removed via melee combat. Use them to stage attacks or to take cover from bombardment. So, support structures. So, trenches are not the only thing our engineers can provide. Support structures allow specialized troops to provide defense, information, or long-range cover for our infantry. And it goes on to say the support structure, while trenches persist and form the backbone of a good layout, support structures need to be placed every battle. Every battle. While more expensive, they are vital for good offense or defense. So click on the support structures. And before we do that, let's read what it says. It says build new support objects such as barbed wire, spurs, and artillery. Artillery? By clicking the button and left clicking on the map. New objects appear as blueprints until the transition phase. You can remove them by clicking the remove button on each object. Use the mouse wheel to rotate the blueprint while in placement mode. Okay, so we clicked on that. And then, oh, right, now it goes on to say that these support structures include these things here by the looks of it. And one of the first ones is the MG nest. So there are 2 types of weapon placements. Machine guns are deadly against infantry, especially if they overlap to create a kill zone. Mortars are better against tanks, but can also target infantry in trenches, even our own. Click the MG nest button, okay? So, place 3 additional MG nests. So, where can I put these nests? So it says to rotate the mouse button, but hang on. They cannot be placed on open ground. Sorry. I thought I was going to sneeze then, sorry. Oh, I'm still going to sneeze. Ah, am I going to sneeze? No. Right, weapon emplacement is attached to the trench lines. So they've got to be attached to the trench lines, which is here. Oh yeah, like there's my first one. So I put one there, look, and then I'm going to put one there. And what else? It wants 3, don't they? And where should you put this one? Let's put this third one. There. Okay. So we got this one, and this one. Now, spurs. Both machine guns and mortars have 2 versions, standard and reinforced. Okay, reinforced versions have a much higher health pool and are more resistant to artillery and grenade fire. This comes at a higher supply cost, so weigh the likelihood of attack versus cost when making the choice. Oh, did it tell me to put? No, it didn't, did it? Spurs level, both blah 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 blah. Okay, so this is the spurs level. Barbed wire, razor wire is more deadly cousin to barbed wire, and razor wire acts exactly the same as barbed wire, but additionally damages enemies that passes through it. Okay, so balloons. Observation balloons are special objects that can be raised to reveal a large area in the fog of war, allowing you to track enemy movement. Raised balloons are vulnerable to aircraft, while lower balloons on their support truck can be attacked from the ground. Click the OBS balloon button on the support tab, and it says place a balloon. So we're going to go up here, and I think I'm going to put a balloon more or less. Can I put one there? Oh, no, I can't. Where can we put them? Where? So we need. Where can we put it? There. We can only put it as far as here. Look. Can we put it there? Okay. So we couldn't put any further up. So where were we? Our command structure on the front line is by word of mouth, and messenger travel outside of the command trench. As such, we are only capable of tracking and coordinating a finite number of companies. The command cap is a limit to how many units you can place onto the battlefield at one time. In the campaign, this number is 30, though it can change in other game modes. Weapon emplacements, balloons and aircraft do not reduce command cap. Infantry, tanks and artillery do. So this is the command cap down here. And we can have maximum 30 companies. But that, balloons and weapon emplacements and infantry, tanks and artillery affect this, but not, what was it? Weapons and balloons and aircraft do not reduce it, but infantry, tanks and artillery do. Okay. We track all the companies currently deployed to bail handle their orders. So, the unit tray. If a unit uses a command cap, it appears in the unit tray in the bottom center of the screen. So this is the unit tray. I'm assuming, but there's this in the middle as well. So I'm assuming it's this one. It doesn't say. Why wouldn't you put an arrow or let it flash, like so you know which one they're talking about? Each company is represented by a portrait. So, okay, that explains that. Clicking the portrait will select the company, while double click will send to that camera.
Préparez-vous, soldats.
There you go. Okay.
Préparez-vous à recevoir les ordres de
double
tir.
click in centers, and
Chargez l'artillerie.
that will just select.
Établissez les positions.
Okay. While artillery batteries are not mobile companies, they do require specialized men to fire them, and as such a part of the command system. Artillery are special units that, while immobile, can use multiple abilities and fire across much of the battlefield. Artillery batteries are visible in the unit tray and take up a command cap, so they'll take up one of these points. They are very powerful and as such more expensive to field than infantry. Okay, heavy artillery is primarily used to cause damage. All of the various shells they can use are designed to destroy. While this is best used on defense, in some cases a more offensive use is called for. So heavy artillery, which I think come again and support structures. Heavy artillery has 3 abilities: precision barrage for default damage, poison gas for aerial denial, and airburst shells that can damage targets even in trenches. The first ability is available by default, while the other 2 must be unlocked via a tech tree. So that's how we get our extra more powerful weapons. Click on the heavy artillery button, and we need to place it somewhere. So we're going to put it We're gonna put it by. Can we put it by there? Yeah, let's put it by there for the sake of it, and put another one. Can we put it? Let's turn it. Oh, we can't turn it that way. Okay, let's just put it there for now. Now we've got to click on the troops. So now that our station defense is in place, so we put our trenches down, we put our machine gun placements down, we've put our what was the last one they did? I can't remember now. It's artillery, I think it was. Now we've got to do the troops. So the troop deployment tab allows you to place infantry and tanks onto the battlefield. Infantry forms the backbone of any successful defense and is vital to help keep control points secure. So remember that. We don't want these being taken, and infantry is vital, as I mentioned before. So the troop deployment tab allows the placement of infantry and tanks on the battlefield. In pre-battle, infantry must be deployed into a trench. In battle, troops enter from the side of the map and move to the targeted location. Companies will enter the map from a position closest to the nearest owned control point or command trench. It is cheaper to place troops in pre-battle phase. Costs increase in the battle phase. Okay, so we've clicked on the troop button, and so I think we do this. We don't want our men milling about outside the trenches while the firing starts. Of course we don't. All infantry will be stationed on the firing steps to make sure your defensive positions are covered. And one of those trenches was a firing step trench, and I can't remember which one it was now. Infantry companies cost less supply to deploy in pre-battle, but they must be placed into trenches. In addition, infantry placed during pre-battle may be subject to siege artillery barrages before the battle starts. The cheaper cost and starting advantage must be weighed against the risk. Okay. So, having talked with the soldiers from multiple countries, now it seemed to me that all of them had a knack for something that was a cultural thing. The French were very efficient with their supply, since they were fighting in their own country. Our boys took to tanks like ducks to water. The British were crack shots. So, nationality bonus allies. For the Allies faction, infantry companies have a nationality bonus, which grants a unique modifier. You can see this modifier by selecting a company and viewing the info pane or tooltip. These bonuses are something to consider when deploying and giving orders to your troops. So if I mouse over the American infantry, they gain better morale bonus and less penalty around tanks. And if I go to the French, they have home advantage and they cost less supply to field as reinforcements. Okay. Right. So I suspect that the same could not be said for all Germans, since they were the most part all from the same country. It is possible they had other advantages, I just don't know about them, since I don't speak German and they don't seem inclined to talk. So the Germans do not have a nationality bonus. Instead, Germany can use conscript infantry and other variation in their units. Okay, so let's click on the American infantry. And in the pre-battle phase, infantry can only be placed into trench, firing trench, command trench, or blockhouse trench. As with other objects, clicking the infantry button enters placement. You can place multiple companies. Left click to place the American infantry into a trench. So I'm gonna put them in this trench.
Reporting for duty.
Okay. Place 7 more infantry in trenches. Oh, hang on. Why can't I? Can I put them there?
Reinforcements reporting.
2 there. I'm not sure if I'm doing
Reinforcements
this right.
ready. We've arrived and await orders. Looks like we're late to the party. Reporting for duty.
I made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so we've done that. Now we're going to put in the infantry specialists. Infantry companies are generally all-purpose. They can attack, defend, or capture. However, it is sometimes necessary to bring in specialists for specific jobs. And the specialist that I thought was a grenadier here is an American raider. So specialist units have smaller company sizes, but they make up for it by having more health, more morale than normal infantry. There are 2 types. They are grenadiers. Raiders or grenadiers for the Germans, and flamethrowers or stormtroopers for the Germans. So in this case we've got raiders. Both are very good at clearing trenches through though their method varies. Click on the American Raider button, and American Raider uses grenades against all targets, faster and more protected than standard infantry. can attack infantry in trenches from open ground, highly effective against emplacements and tanks, and deals more damage than standard infantry in trench and melee combat. So we're going to place this guy, and place 2 American Raiders. So we're going to place them there.
Reporting for duty.
And we're going to put the other one
Reinforcements reporting.
Okay. I don't know if I'm putting them in the right place, but there you go. So, I believe our lines are sufficiently manned for now. We will hold back the rest of our men as reinforcements so that we can react once the battle starts. We will also hold back our tanks, let them be a surprise for the Germans. So we've got these tanks here. As with infantry, tanks cost less to place in the pre-battle phase, and like infantry, tanks can be placed anywhere in friendly territory. So our siege batteries have been moved from this battlefield to cover another portion of the front. We'll have to do without this for the encounter. So, pre-battle bombardment is available if you have siege artillery in the region, and I don't think we have because it has been moved. So, it is useful to clear enemy trenches to support your attacks and can potentially destroy the trenches themselves. Because of the higher cost and randomness of fire, it is best used when you are the attacker and are planning a massive assault. So I think we are the defenders on this one, I think. So, according to this, it's best used when we're attackers, so we're not. So that's the button there for the siege artillery, and it says in pre-battle allows a purchase of siege barrages that occur before the battle starts. We are limited to 2 days for each siege artillery battle in the region. Siege barrages can destroy trenches and their contents and decrease maximum morale for other faction. In battle, this tab allows for the purchase of targeted siege barrages and the detonation of undermining explosives. So we haven't got one of those by the looks of it. I believe we are as ready as we will ever be. Thank God for that. Get some rest. You earned it, but stay vigilant. So, spend or save. How you spend your supply in pre-battle is a key element of the game. Any supply you do not spend in pre-battle will be added to the reserve once the battle starts. You must balance the need to have more defenses built in pre-battle versus the need for reinforcements, artillery, aircraft, and other ability use in battle. But how would you know? You know, I don't know, Bob. Okay, so there you go. Click on dismiss. Waiting was hell with nothing to do. Your mind can take you to some dark places. While our intel people mostly got it right, sometimes the only clue we had that the battle was about to start was the sudden silence of the artillery. How can the artillery be silent? And yes, oh, never mind. Begin battle. Clicking begin battle will transition to the battle phase. All placed objects are constructed, followed by pre-battle bombardments from each player if they were purchased and we haven't got any. So click the begin battle at the top of the screen. Here we go, guys. Are you sure you want to begin the battle? My God, it's letting you wait in there. Right. So now we are finally going to see a bit of action. And the continue button is ready. So let's go in and have a look. Right, we have received warning that the Germans will likely attack soon. Get your men in position. During the transition to the tactical battle phase, all of the objects you place are built, and all the troops you deploy will man the trenches. Normally the battle clock will begin counting down. We have paused it for the tutorial and will automatically do so even when the gameplay is resumed to give you time to read and react. So I believe we put some of these trenches in. There's our artillery that we put in, like by here. I can't remember all the machine guns were that we put in. There's one there, there's one there, look. Some machine guns. Can we zoom in a bit closer? Yeah, we can. Oh, there we go. Look. So there's the guys manning our artillery. And there's the machine gunners. I think. Oh yeah, there they are, look. There they are. There's all our people that we've put in the trenches, which is good. I don't know what else I put them, but there you go. Okay, so let's click on this button. Right, so you could tell how much experience a soldier has had by how they handled waiting. Sometimes our intel was to the hour, other times we knew the battle started because the bombardment stopped. Either way, we kept busy in the trenches waiting for the whistles to sound. So the pre-battle bombardment. The transition phase includes any days of siege bombardment, of which we have got none, that were purchased in pre-battle for both players. Bombardments have a chance to destroy pre-placed trenches and the men inside them, as well as any nearby emplacements. So these ones we made are at risk of being bombarded. Our strategists use the information they have to try to determine how well the battle will go before we even start. We will use this info to plan the best course of action. So this is the potential bar, which is up here by looks of it. The red central powers, that's the Germans, and the blue allies bar at the top of the screen show the combat potential for both sides related to each other representing available units and supply for both sides. Okay. A longer bar indicates more available firepower than the opponent. As units are defeated and supplies spent, the bars will deplete to show current value. So it looks like at the moment that we've got less strength than them. Okay. Many other factors play into winning the battle. Skill at giving orders, technological advantages, and morale all play a role. Knowing when to stop fighting is sometimes as important as pushing forward. So that was a potential bar, but at the top of that there's a victory bar, and the top bar is the victory level meter. This represents a range of potential victory levels from great loss to great victory. The pointer will adjust based on scores earned by both sides and their relation to each other. So that's the current victory indicator, but where the pointer rests is the victory that you would achieve if a ceasefire is agreed upon. Minor victory. Okay, so if I just slightly mouse over to the left, it says minor victory. Okay. The strategists were men who pored over stacks of paper, maps, radio transcripts, and pictures taken from planes. They somehow took all that information. They somehow took all that and told us if we were likely to win or lose. Somehow it felt like they forgot the most important part, the human will to survive. So we also have control point shortcuts, and near the top meters you can find the control point shortcuts, which are the important ones. And the status, I beg your pardon. You can see who owns each point, and if they are in the process of being captured, you can click on the icons to focus the camera on those control points. So click on the icon. You can click the icon to focus the camera. Okay, so we're going to click on A. Do that. At first, we couldn't quite tell what was so important about these seemingly random pieces of ground. Our allies told us that in most cases they secured points of reinforcements, allowing us to bring new men and weapons into the area quickly. So, capturing control points. To capture a control point, move an infantry company within the capture radius. The more companies you have in that area, the faster the meter will fill. The meter will halt if enemy infantry are in the area. You must fill the meter entirely before leaving the area to capture the point and get the score. If you leave early, the meter will revert to the previous owner over time. So similar to Company of Heroes, really. Okay, click on that. The control point locations are used as a way to coordinate reinforcements to portions of the map. Losing these locations would be a blow to our ability to move troops where we need them. Each control point influences an area of the map and the reinforcements locations linked to it. A control point that is lost or contested cannot be reinforced from. You can see the map section linked to the control points using the / key. Okay, so that's for A. So, and what about B? No, I can't go to B. Okay. So what does that mean? Each control point influences an area of the map and the reinforcement linked to it. So does that mean that they come from this side? Or does it mean that you can place reinforcements here? I don't know. Let's just read that again. The control point locations are used as a way to coordinate reinforcements to portions of the map. Portions of the map, okay. Losing these locations. I think this is the portion I can do the reinforcements from, okay. Our reinforcements wait at key positions. Oh look, it's telling us where. Here. At key positions. Away from the battlefield. We have mapped specific routes into the area via the control point, which is why they're important. Okay. Losing the control point also prevents us from using those reinforcement routes. So we just saw some routes there around here. Each region is tied to reinforcement points as shown on the mini-map. If you capture an enemy control point that links to side reinforcement points, you can then use to reinforce your own troops. Top and bottom points can never be captured. Only the sides, okay? Reinforcements cannot use a point that is captured or contested in the map area. Okay, your men are needed on the field now. Prepare to deploy. So here we go. Every time I think we're going to start the battle, there's something else to do. The supply of cost of reinforcements is higher than deploying the same unit in pre-battle, which is what we said. Reinforcements are limited by the number available based on what was in the region. Available supply and command cap. So that's our available supply. That's our command cap. So we're going to have another 15. And on here, we've got 2,496 supply. So let's click on the infantry and note these buttons here. Okay. So they'll say they'll spawn whenever we want them to spawn. Okay, so should we spawn them? Let's spawn them by here.
Reinforcements reporting.
And now did we lose? How much did we want? So it's 2486, and that's changed. 16 has changed, but that hasn't. So let's put these guys. Oh, there's some guys there. So where should we reinforce? I think we should put some guys here.
Reinforcements ready.
Okay, so they're all ready. So they're coming in there, and they're coming in there. Make sure they're probably behind the fence when they arrive. Commands such as reinforcement movement and ability usage can still be given while paused, but nothing will happen until play is resumed. So I can see why, because nothing is happening. Okay. Sometimes it's wise to step back, pause, and take a look at the battlefield. However, right now, time is of the essence. You can control the game speed. Here's the VCR buttons here. Pause, half game speed, normal, and 2 times. Click the play button to watch your troops arrive. So where are they? Where are they? I can't see. Oh, there they are. Look, hey guys. There they are, look. And they get into the trench and getting ready. Oh, they're going over the trench. Infantry can default to column formation when called in. This is fast but vulnerable. Skirmish formation is defensive but slow to move. You can toggle. Okay, let's toggle between that. Oh, stopped. Ah, why is it paused? I did watch the mountain, but it won't let me unpause now. Okay. Vision. Units and structures like weapon emplacements can see across the battlefield, but only so far. When they cannot see, it is called the fog of war. Distance, hills, and trenches can all obscure your vision of the battlefield, blocking your ability to attack or see enemy movements. We still cannot see any enemy movement, but this is what we bought our balloons for. Raise them up. So we put balloons, I think, somewhere over. I can't. It's not showing us now, but I think it's somewhere by here, wasn't it? So balloons begin the battle lower to keep them safe from aircraft, but the lower balloon provides no vision bonus. You must weigh the risk of raising them for the large vision bonus against the danger of them being shot down. The raise lower button toggles all balloons at once. They cannot be controlled individually. Okay, so let's raise the balloons up. And then, oh yeah, there you go. Like, remember we said we put them by here? So it's going to show us. Ah, here we go. There are all these Germans there. So our vision increases as the balloons rise. Yeah, we did that. As the balloons rise, they will reveal much more of the map and even allow you to see enemy trenches if the trenches are filled and in range. So how do we know they're in range? I don't know. A single soldier in a basket hanging from a giant bag filled with flammable gas. Those recon soldiers are nerves of steel. Okay, so let's click this. It appears the time has paid off. The observers in the balloons have spotted enemy troops. Artillery. Remember that heavy artillery is good for damaging enemy targets, since units cannot regain lost health or morale. Sometimes it is useful on defense to weaken the enemy units before they attack. Units in tactical can be selected via the unit tray or by clicking on the unit banner directly. Select any heavy artillery. So I'm going to select this one.
Prête.
Right, oh, what's it going to do? Okay, so hang on. Where's all these lines coming from? Let's click on this one.
Préparez-vous, soldats. Préparez-vous à recevoir les ordres de
This is
tir.
one. Double clicked on it. All units displaying like individual. Press the position barrage button. Okay, so we position
Préparez un
barrage,
barrage total.
and then move the reticle. Oh yeah, here we go. So artillery attributes. Selecting artillery will provide the cursor allow you to target the ability. You can fire at any location that is within range and fire an angle of the selected artillery battery. The cursor will turn red if you are outside there. Right clicking will count. Okay, so we're going to click it over some of these guys here, like. Okay?
On a nos cibles.
Whoa, we blew someone back. And they got a timer here, look. Wow. Okay. Anyone who says they do not fear artillery fire is lying or insane. The sound of the shells cutting through the air, the force of the blast pushing at your flesh, the dirt and other things flying through the air, it is terrifying. Artillery ability activation. The ability will place a brief warning decal on the ground before the shells land. Artillery fire is not exact, so shots will land randomly, which is why we're seeing shots going not exactly where we put the cursor. Artillery shells can cause friendly fire as well, so be cautious when firing near your own units. Once the barrage ends, the battery enters cooldown. The cooldown locks out all abilities of the battery until it expires. Watch your artillery before continuing. So we've done that. Many of our veteran soldiers can tell by artillery shells that land just by the sound. Pay heed to this method and you can avoid casualties. Avoid artillery. Incoming artillery will shoot on the ground before the shells land. While units in blockhouse and command. Oh, didn't let me finish that off, did it? Hang on. Let me go back. Yeah, so it said the ability to place a brief warning decal on the ground before the shells land. Artillery fire is not exact, so shots will land randomly within the area. Artillery shells can cause friendly fire. Oh no, we did that, didn't we? Avoiding artillery. Incoming enemy artillery will show a brief warning image on the ground before the shells land. While units in blockhouses and command trenches are immune, and units in trenches take reduced damage, units on open ground can only dodge the incoming fire. So we did that, we watched the incoming artillery fire, and I'm not sure if some of our men have taken damage, and I think they may have. I don't know yet. Okay, so we did that. The trenches provided pretty good cover against field artillery fire. I was feeling pretty good until a veteran near me mentioned the Germans like to fire into the trenches to soften them up before an attack. Infantry health and morale. So infantry companies have both the health bar, green, okay, that looks like turquoisey blue to me, but there you go, and the morale bar, white. Oh, sorry, we're looking at this one. We're not looking at this one, we're looking at this one. So there's the green bar, and there's the morale bar. The health bar displays how many troops are left, so we've got just over half left there, while the morale displays their willingness to fight, so we're just about halfway there. The morale bar can be affected by a variety of factors, abilities, fatigue, casualties, and when it reaches 0, the company will break and run. So select a damaged low artillery company. So I think this is the lowest one.
We have new orders.
Low. Okay, I want you to pay close attention to the morale of your men. Men with high morale willingly go over the top and rush a German machine gun nest. Those with low morale are likely to break and run at the first sound of rifle fire. Low morale units do not suffer from damage reduction and will still follow orders, but their usefulness is limited since they are so close to breaking. Sometimes it's better to withdraw low morale units to avoid the additional casualties instead of letting them break, especially on defense. So we're going to withdraw these guys.
We're withdrawing.
There you go. Okay, so because we withdrew them, the company removed from play, withdrawing. It does not count as a loss with respect to score. Withdrawal also saves on a replenishment cost, grants a slight refund of supply. So you can see down here that our supplies gone up a bit, and frees up command cap for new reinforcements. Withdrawals are not instantaneous, and units withdrawn in the middle battle can still take damage and break before they withdraw. So they have withdrawn, you can see. The way they've gone, I can't see, remember. Keep your eyes peeled for enemy activity. So enemy activity, you will only be able to see enemy movement if you have units or balloons revealing the area. Enemy infantry are... Oh, come on, man. Didn't let me finish it. Okay, let's just go back a minute. They're hidden until the units get very close. The balloons can see them if within range. Enemies in bunkers cannot be seen unless your own infantry enter it. Okay. It looks like they are moving troops towards location X. So I think they're going to be moving them by whatever this is, yeah? That's X, okay. Normally enemy units in trenches can't be seen moving unless you have infantry in the trench lines. Raised balloons can see into the trenches from much further away due to their elevation. Enemies in bunkers are invisible unless you enter them with your own infantry. So, let's click on that. Okay, so where are we? Trench movement selection. For safety and speed, garrison infantry prefer moving through connected trenches over open ground if possible. Select a raider, which is one of these, remember? By clicking on unit tray, double click to select and focus the camera.
New orders incoming.
So there he is. Right click on an open allied trench. Hang on, what is it? Right click on an allied open trench to move the raiders. So where do you want me to move them? There.
Take the trench.
Okay. Watch the moon before continuing. I would do, but your thing's in the way. I can't see. Okay. As long as there's a connected path from start to finish, your inventory will remain in the trenches unless something blocks the path. Infantry can pass by allied infantry in a trench, but if they encounter an enemy, they will automatically engage in melee combat. Watch the troop movement before continuing. So I can't see because this is in the way. Right. Oh, okay, he's gone to the next one. Enemy rolling barrage. Rolling barrages by several lines of artillery shells in a second. These shells not only damage suppress everything, but also drop smoke, as we can see. You can use this to both damage the enemy and it's gone off again. So the Germans are going over the top. We can see them here, and the term over the top refers to the act of leaving the trenches to attack the enemy through no man's land. This action can cause a lot of casualty unless your infantry is supported by artillery fire, aircraft or other abilities. But I just missed that one here. Okay, we've done that one. Observe the battlefield. So now we put those weapon emplacements up. So our emplacements are positioned admirably. The Germans will pay a heavy cost to approach our trench lines. Weapon emplacements such as machine guns and mortars will automatically fire the closest target in range. You can manually choose targets for them by selecting the banner and right-click any target. This is useful if you want to focus fire on an enemy specialist or weaker troop. So I think these are our machine gun placements, aren't they? This one here, look. And one of those there, I think we put. So let's click on the tick. Artillery is very useful, but the shells are expensive to produce and transport. You must weigh the cost of firing versus the effectiveness of the shots you plan. Depending on the size of the enemy attack, you need to decide if your units can stop the attack before it arrives, or if you need to support the defensive line with your artillery abilities that cost supply. Okay, that's about cost. We were given the order and we climbed into the firing step and readied our rifles. Through the lingering dust and smoke from the artillery barrages, we could make our Germans running towards us. Our machine guns opened fire and we soon joined them. Firing step. So, firing trench have two positions. The firing step, the left banner. What left banner? And reserve, right banner position. I'm not sure where this right and left banner is because it's not showing me. Is that it? No, I don't know. We don't know. So firing trench have two positions. The firing step, left banner position, and reserve, right banner. But what is it talking? Where's these banners? It doesn't tell us, does it? Only the firing step position can fire an incoming enemy. You can use the swap trench position button, which is where? I don't know. You can use it. Oh. You can use. I lost where I was. The swap trench button position to swap companies between the positions. This is useful if, for example, you want more damage in special infantry to take the step when enemies enter close range. Okay, along the line, open fire, repel the attack. Stop the attack. Direct your troops and use artillery to stop the incoming attack. Remember to use artillery abilities. Click on the artillery and then the position barrage. Okay. So, defeat the incoming wave.
Chargez l'artillerie.
So we're gonna.
Préparez-vous pour le barrage. Établissez les positions. Rechargez pour barrage cette position. Équipe prête. Vérifiez les coordonnées pour le barrage. Commencez le barrage. Préparez-vous, soldats. Établissez les tirez avec toute l'artillerie. Préparez-vous à recevoir les ordres de tir. On a nos cibles. Chargez.
Stand by for orders.
Okay. Right. So artillery isn't about damage. Isn't just about damage. You can use artillery to suppress the enemy's ability to fire back at you. Useful if you are trying to approach the enemy line. Suppression. The default abilities for both light and heavy artillery will disable the ability of all infantry, emplacement, and artillery to fire their weapons. This includes both enemy and friendly units. Light artillery is far better suppression than heavy, but both can get the job done. So these were heavy. Okay. Right, now we're going to, believing the incoming assault is larger than anticipated, I believe it's time to field our tanks. So they're the tanks that we're going to get in. While primarily used as an offensive weapon, tanks are also useful on defense as both a mobile turret and to provide morale bonuses to your troops. Allied tanks come in a cannon or machine gun version. Click on the French tank MG button. Okay, remember the tank will enter the nearest reinforcement point, but will not be able to enter near contested control point. So why we put him by... Can we put him by here?
Char de renfort prêt.
And 2 French machine guns, okay.
Char de renfort au rapport.
Watch our tanks in. Oh, there they are. Hey, hello tanks. Oh. Okay. Like all units, you can right click to move the tank and hold down right click and drag to set the rotation. Okay, so right click and drag.
En attente de nouveaux ordres.
Defeat the incoming wave. Light tank and light FT cannot drive over improved or advanced firing, so alright, so place them with this in mind. I can never remember what is improved trench or not. What are these?
Restez en position. En route. Les ordres arrivent.
Well, there they are.
En avant. Préparez-vous à recevoir les ordres. Dirigez-vous vers cette position. En avance.
And the tank's automatically firing.
Prêt. On y va. En attente de nouveaux ordres. Restez en position. Dirigez-vous vers cette position.
Okay, incoming air. The enemy's dispatched fighters. Fighters and bombers have 2 missions each they can perform. Enemy fighters can threaten your balloons. It's up to you to decide if you want to load them or not. Remember that all balloons are all lowered or raised at once. Sometimes it's worth to keep the risk. Sometimes it's worth the risk to keep the balloons raised to ensure vision. Okay. It would probably be wise to get on the radio command and have them scramble some aircraft of our own. So, aircraft are not deployed like other units and never take up command cap, which is this one. As long as you have an air wing present in the region, you can dispatch aircraft on missions during the battle. So this is the air support. You can control your aircraft from this panel. Send your aircraft, the air wings on missions to perform various orders, including balloon busting or dogfighting. So I've done that. Available air support shows how many aircraft are currently available to be sent on missions compared to the total you have in the region. The individual missions show how many air wings are currently active and remaining duration, and the refuel meter shows if they are currently refueling about to become available again. And what am I looking at though here? Is it this one? I thought we did that. Okay. Right, so there's the planes. Air superiority mission. Order fire squadron to hunt down and destroy enemy aircraft. Mission lasts until fuel runs out. Okay, the brass would radio to the airfield and request a mission. Once in the air, there was no way for the pilot to receive new orders, so he had to do his best to complete the mission and return. Often they had to make snap decisions and improvise to keep themselves and their planes in the air. So looks like there was no radio in those days, in the aircraft I mean. There are 5 missions available. Each mission consists of 1 air wing chosen based on the mission type. A single bomber, harassment, bombing run, 2 fighters, balloon busting, air superiority, or single recon plane, recon. Click the air superiority button. There is only 1 there to click. Okay, air missions targeting. All air missions will give you a decal to select a target destination. The planes will fly to this location before beginning the mission and will pick up targets from that point with the closest. If you are going after moving targets, Place the decal where you expect the enemy aircraft to be instead of targeting where they are. I know, but I can't move them anywhere. Clear. Click near A to call in your air superiority mission. Okay, I'll do that.
Ordre d'éliminer leur pilote.
Survived it. I final attack. I can't see my airplanes going in. Oh, there they are. Whoa. Ooh. Air battle. Air battle. Unlike other units, aircraft cannot be directly controlled. They can only be given initial target locations as shown by the decal. After clearing, the initial aircraft will automatically continue to the target to run out of fuel, after which they will return to the airfield to refuel and beyond. So we've got to finish this final attack, and now we've got these as well.
Préparez-vous pour le barrage. Feu. Établissez les positions. Rechargez, pilonnez cette position. Équipe, vérifiez les coordonnées du barrage. Préparez-vous, soldats. Préparez-vous à recevoir les tirs de barrage. Tirez avec une d'artillerie.
Préparez-vous à recevoir les tirs. On avance. En attente de nouveaux ordres. On y va.
We did. Oh no, the reinforcements slowing down and their soldiers are showing signs of low morale. I believe their momentum is faltering. Ending battles. The attacker has the option to cease fire at any time to end the battle and total the score. The defender can only surrender, which gives up your control points and command trench to the enemy. Battles can also time out. When the timer reaches 0, you have lost the daylight and the battle ends with the same rules as a ceasefire. We have achieved what we came to do. Prevent the loss of more ground. I suggest accepting the German call for ceasefire. Enough blood has been shed today. During battle, the attacker can offer a ceasefire when they feel they have accomplished all they could. Accept the ceasefire will end the battle and hand you the final score with no additional charge to control point ownership. While the enemy will always accept a player's ceasefire, the player can choose to decline. Click choose to accept ceasefire. Okay, I'm going to choose battle will end with current victory results. There you go. Good. So, the enemy ceasefire. So you abandon that battle, minor victory, won by inches, not miles. The enemy has decided to cut his losses, end hostilities for now, and our force have taken some damage, but we can fight another day. Again, and another day. So, click on continue. So here's our score. That's in the way again, I can't see. So it tells us that we had casualties on the central side. And there's our casualties, just one fighter aircraft and 345 basic infantry. And they lost more than that. And we've got a few battle honors down here. Life medal, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Which is quite good that you've got these things. I like that. And we can see the battle detail. After the battle, the aides will compile a report to assess where you stand versus your enemy. It is divided into two sections: general level of victory and detailed statistics. The debrief. The debrief scheme gives you an overview of how well you did in the battle. It is broken into two screens. The first will show you your overall score and win level, which we can't see because that's in the way. While the second details casualties, replenishment costs, and supply use. Casualty score. 2 balloons destroyed. Click go to world map button to see theater, or click the see battle detail. Okay, let's have a look at see battle detail. It's not just the level of victory that the people back home look for, it is also casualty counts. Even if you achieve a great victory, the people will never accept a commander who frivolously spends human life to achieve it. The battle detail shows more in-depth information, breaking down the exact casualties, showing you a log of score changes and indicating supply costs for the battle. The national breakdown shows not just the score values, but also the penalties for your casualty point counts. So the Germans surrendered there. We withdrew one of our troops. We spent 776 in battle, and we supply, and we provided 1,085. So I'm not sure what that means. Final supply bank cost. Don't know what that means. Company replenishment costs. No, looks like it's here. We lost minus 11.5, and we've got a national world change of 2. Okay, and let's go to world map. Hello. Ah, here we go. I thought I'd gone. I thought we lost it then. So, infantry companies can use their grenades while moving, even when moving through a trench line. Did I know that? So, here we go. Victory. Battle's expensive. Endeavours both in monetary and human costs. While our defence was successful, we should never forget the lives that were lost to bring about our victory. After the battle, you are presented with the results. In most cases, the cost of the battle will be gold reserves to pay for unit replenishment, supply that was spent during the battle, and national will. So there's 3 things there: national will, supply, and gold reserves. If the attack achieves a great victory, the defending region will lose a star as well. So that's only if you achieve a great victory. Click the continue button to close the recap user interface. So we have plus 12, we spent 139, and we spent 200 supply. And they've lost. I don't know what that minus 2 is for. Okay, click on continue. We had ample warning this time, and the German attack seemed more like a scouting probe than a full-scale assault. But even minor battles cost lives, the men are tired, and they'll need to recuperate. A high casualty count, don't forget, can penalise the national will results of the battle. All regions that engage in combat will also suffer battle fatigue, which lowers the infantry morale in the region until your next turn. The German forces are moving. Hopefully they will not grow wise to our plan and will move as expected. Like the player, the AI will move troops around on its turn. Without espionage, you will only be able to see the number of units moving, but not what is moving. Army intel espionage mission will reveal the true contents of the army. Like the player, each AI unit can move or attack in the same turn. Okay, so a new month begins and the war continues. Command uses this time to send out new orders, refresh expenditures, and rebuild lost infrastructure. On the start of a new turn, you will receive an advance of gold reserves and a new research point. So we got 1,500 gold reserves and a research point on our next turn, and they can change over time and with research. In addition, all unit movements and attack limits are refreshed. Looks like we can continue. And at this point, we shall end the video. It's a long one, that one. A lot of stuff in there. And in the next video, we'll carry on with chapter 5. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's quite a lot to take in. You might have to watch it again. I certainly will. And until next time, guys, thanks for joining us. Arrivederci.